From Russia, pictures of the elections continue to arrive, and the camera catches the big personalities of the revolution as they perform a citizen's privilege. Lenin's widow, seen at a polling station in Moscow, may have mixed feelings as she votes. Who comes next? No less a man than Stalin himself, accompanied by Molotov, chairman of the Council of People's Commissars, and Marshal Voroshilov. When President Roosevelt votes, they ask him his name, but they don't do that to Stalin in Russia. And so to Egypt, where the British troops are holding their annual maneuvers in the eastern desert.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. Boy, do we have a lot to say. What a crazy ass fucking week. I don't know. I hope that everyone who's watching this is still sane from all the craziness going on. I know, sir. I know myself personally. I am just still. I don't think I'm baffled per se. I think I expected. In fact, I kind of called it in a lot of ways on my stream many times. When I was saying this is how they're going to cheat, and it just manifested exactly the way I predicted it. It wasn't hard, and it's not like I have personally a crystal ball that I can see the future into. It's just that all you have to do to know what's going to happen is just you take a look at the past, right? And you realize that this shit happens all the fucking time in other places. It's very common, and it's just so easy. It's just so easy to lose a democracy and to lose, and basically to lose a country, which is basically what we are on our way to do successfully somehow. I'm joined by some great people, and I know some other people will be joining us throughout the night as well to uncover, but to basically just check out all the evidence that we have of the massive and just at this point undeniable cheating that's going on in this year's election, and just some other scary stuff that's happening in the world. First of all, I want to welcome Vinny. Thank you for joining me, man.
Yeah, man, it's a pleasure. I always love Mass John.
Absolutely, brother. And then we're also accompanied by Abel. How are you, man?
Doing great, man. It's very crazy. I guess we will talk about some things, I guess.
Yeah, man, we have a lot of things to talk about, but also, something that when I first started this show, right? The first time I decided to do this, I was like, I am not going to say anything that I'm not certain about, right? I'm not going to just pull shit out of my ass and just make stuff up, because we're not the mainstream media. That's what they do. Mm-hmm. What I want to do is show people evidence and have them make up their own minds, and I think that's far more valuable as information, as the news, even, if you will. I feel like that is the way it should be, right? Mm-hmm. And people on the ground have been recording just the shameless and so in your face cheating that they have been doing, that at this point is impossible to deny. And I don't think that a lot of them are trying to deny it. At this point, I feel like a lot of Democrats are just simply saying, you know what, I don't care. That's my feeling, at least.
Yeah.
So I'm also joined by Imega. How are you, man?
Very good, John. Good night to everyone.
Good night. Good night, man.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
And so first of all, the first thing I wanted to start with, this is really concerning, right? The first time I read this, I was like, is this a parody account? Like, am I reading this right? Is this really happening? This should scare everyone who reads it. And by now, maybe some of you might have seen it, maybe not, but I'm still going to share it here. Tell me your thoughts about it, especially if you are from a country that has gone through things like this. All right? I'm going to put it up on the screen. We'll read it together. Tell me your thoughts afterwards. Okay? So this tweet was by none other than a congressman, right? And U.S. House candidate for New York, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Now, she has kind of rose to fame in the past 4 years, really, as a radical leftist who, if you don't live in the United States, kind of giving you a backstory, she has rose to fame in the United States as a far leftist, environmentalist. She wants to push this green agenda, right? That's extremely radical. She wants to do away with fossil fuels and basically ransack our economy, destroy our economy just to, I guess, save the fucking trees. I don't know. So that's her agenda in a nutshell. But take a look at what she's saying here. Now, this is extremely concerning. This is very scary, especially for those of us who know a little bit about history and who have seen this movie before, and we know how it ends. Now, check out what she says here. She asks, is anyone archiving these Trump sycophants for when they try to downplay or deny their complicity in the future? I foresee a decent probability of many deleted tweets, writings, photos in the future. And then she continues on right here at the bottom saying, LOL at the party of personal responsibility, being upset at the idea of being responsible, or in other words, held accountable for their behavior over the last 4 years. That should send chills down your spine. What is she basically saying here? When I read that, the first thing was, what does she mean? Is she going to punish is she going to punish Trump supporters? What is she going to do? Is she going to fucking do, are they planning to fucking do concentration camps? It's crazy. You know what I mean? But she's talking about punishing. This is punishment. We are going to punish you. We're going to come for you because you were basically the opposition, because you were basically opposed to us, because you don't think like us. What's your take on it, Vinny?
That's 100% it. It's when we tell you to bend the knee, you're not going to bend the knee. So we're gonna cancel you. We're gonna end you. That's what I got out of this shit.
Exactly. I mean,
these people, that's what they want to do. They wanted to control everything. They're going to take away everyone's fucking freedoms. That's why they're trying so hard to get it all. They get the Senate, the House, and the presidency. They could change and make whatever the fuck they want happen. And what they want to do is push their own agendas. That's why they're all owned by big tech companies. That's what this was all about.
Right, but the thing is, like, if you ever study history, right? You have these tyrants, and they always have a hit list, right? In communist Russia, no, I actually was Mao Zedong. He used to have something called the Little Red Book, right? And on it, he would have a list of people, a list of political opponents, political dissidents, who were just basically ought to be disappeared. And he was pretty good at that. In fact, he's up to this day the single, he has the highest body count as tyrants and dictators is concerned. So this is not something new. You gotta understand something. Usually when tyrants like this rise to power, the first thing they got to do is disappear their opposition, especially the leadership of the opposition, because they want no one to be able to voice any negative opinion about them. That's how tyrants, in fact, that's how fascists, which they claim to be against, that's how they act. And that's exactly because this is what they are. They are fascists in disguise. And it's incredible to think that we are losing our country to this kind of people. I want to take a little minute just to say hello to the chat and thank you for coming. Filter 021. Yeah, exactly. This is an SS blacklist. This is basically exactly what it is. Unhinged Entertainment, thank you very much. And then Daniel Young, who's joining us. I know it's extremely early in South Africa, so thank you for being here. And then El Gargoyle, thank you for joining us. He says, "Hello, Abel," who's also on the panel. Abel, what do you think when you read something like this? Does this scare you?
I think the biggest problem right now is that if they're making fraud in the voting. I think that's the biggest concern. For example, if Biden were to win democratically, that more people actually voted for him, I don't think there would be at least in my mind, that wouldn't be a big problem in a sense because he won because actually people voted for him. But the main problem for me is that if the votes are illegal votes, those that are giving him the lead, But and obviously, this amphibian being saying that crap online is it's very worrisome in a way. But at the same time, half of the people doesn't care about what she says, so there can be a certain ideological, cultural confrontation, which is good, in a way, it's good.
It's not that I'm afraid to debate ideas with these people. It's the fact that they're not willing to listen to the other side that worries me. In fact, when you look at especially people from the left, right, their ideas are so unpopular, right? Everybody rejects the idea of having to pay more in taxes. It's just logic, you know. Everyone rejects the idea of having the price of gas go up, you know, or maybe not even be able to afford electricity because of getting rid of fossil fuels. So they understand that if somehow they cheat their way into power, because people are not stupid, people see through their lies, you know, that if somehow not only do they have to cheat their way into power, but that once they're there, they have to cling onto it however they can. And this is when they start, you know, creating these schemes and these basically these elaborate plans to not only perpetuate themselves into power, but get rid of any kind of opposition and stay there, because otherwise they will be not only voted out of office, they will be humiliated because nobody likes them. Not only are they extremely unlikable as people, but their ideas are shit. And they have been proven to be shit over and over again throughout history. I don't understand how anybody consciously actually voted for fucking Joe Biden, especially knowing, because look,
because they hate Trump, man. People hate Trump. A lot of people that voted for Biden is because they hate Trump. They dislike Biden, but their hatred for Trump is bigger than their love for Biden, man.
It's like the Hillary thing. Everyone hated Hillary. That's why Trump got in. But they flipped it because they were working for 4 years straight. The media, since again, they're owned by big tech. They controlled everything. Every major news outlet was attacking him, even when he did good. So they're putting it into people's heads 24/7. When COVID hit, that was the perfect opportunity to really pounce on him. So it's COVID, and then he's a racist and a piece of shit of a person. That's all they were fucking pushing left and right. Whether he's a good person or not doesn't matter. He was serving the country. He was helping people, and they're ignoring all of that. The piece that he made in the Middle East, they ignored all of that. There are facts all over the place, like with the laptop, Hunter's laptop, and they ignored all this shit. They buried it. They swept it under the rug. They deleted and canceled anybody who was retweeting or sharing it on Facebook and Twitter. What the hell does that tell you? They're pushing a narrative. They're forcing people and trying to trick them.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess the cognitive dissonance really, it goes extremely deep with these people. I'm talking about Democrats, and especially the people that will defend anything that comes out of Biden's mouth. You know, you will point out, you know, maybe this man is not all there. He has cognitive, issues. He's not, you know, you can tell that the guy is not all there. I don't know if he has dementia, but he definitely shows signs of. But they will say, no, you're just. You're a ableist, or you know, you're making fun of all people or whatever, right? Then you point out, like you said, you know, the awful things that were found, and forget the porno, you know, forget the fact that Hunter Biden probably fucked every single hooker in the United States, you know, and smoked crack with them. Forget all of that, even though there's photographic and video evidence of this throughout the internet, you know. Forget all of that. When you point out the fact that this man is a corrupt asshole who's been basically using his name and his family's name to basically enrich himself in the world, you know, and then they will say, well, but you know what, we're not voting for Hunter Biden, you know, so what if he's an awful person? We're voting for his father. So they will defend anything, you know, even the indefensible. They're there ready to defend it, and that's really what worries me, you know. It's like, obviously we are in some kind of civil war at this point. It's undeniable, even if it's a cold one, or even if it's fought differently, I don't care. But you know, the divide is at this point impossible to cure. You know, there's no way to bridge both sides of the aisle here.
Right. But on top of it too, for what you're saying, yeah, we're not voting for Hunter. Yeah, but his father is the one who's getting like between 10 and 25% of whatever deals he was making over there. So that means he's owned by China, because those deals were done with China, with Russia. What's the other one? Ukraine.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a lot of times, and I mean, you can. I'm not going to put it up here on the video because it will be taken down fast. But you know, if you go to Parler, you can see the pictures of Hunter Biden. And I'm not saying that. Look, you can be as freaky in bed as you want, right? I don't give a shit. But here's my point. You know, the fact that those pictures exist proves that the laptop was real.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Because they're not Photoshop. You know, I mean, let me put it like this: there's a picture of Hunter Biden with Lady Gaga smoking crack. You know what I mean? Let me put it like that. And there's no way to make that up. It's there, and it's not edited. You can check, right? So you have that evidence. And then people will still say, no, that was just Russian misinformation. It was a made up conspiracy theory. It never happened. That's not a real laptop. And then they go, well, let's think about this logically. Why would Hunter Biden drop off a laptop in a repair shop that was run by a Trump supporter? It's like, because he's fucking retarded. He's on crack 24/7. He doesn't know what he's doing. Or maybe, you know what? Maybe he said fuck it and he wanted to take the whole thing down.
No, he dropped. It was 3 different laptops in 3 different cities. He was so hammered, high off his ass. He forgot where the hell he was, and he didn't know where they were. That's why that guy couldn't contact him again. He couldn't. There was no laptop to pick up because he doesn't remember what the fuck he did because he was high as shit.
Exactly. I want to say to filter, I hope that the people that voted for Biden lose their jobs first when their jobs go to China. And Daniel Young that says, people forget about Mao Zedong when he came to George Floyd in the BLM riots. Oliver from 656 Comics joins us and says, election fraud, just like home. Yeah, a lot of people are saying home.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. In which moment the United States became Mexico? Because this is the kind of frauds you see in Mexico in every presidential election.
Mm-hmm. No, but let me tell you something. In Mexico there is fraud and there is corruption, just like every Latin American country. But I would argue that what we're witnessing right now is a Venezuelan style complete breakdown of our institutions. Because in Mexico, at least, yes, there will be corruption like this, but never to this level. I predicted months ago that the way Joe Biden was going to be given the presidency, basically handed out to him, even though he didn't campaign at all, was by simply having colluded with the media and the media coming out and say, you know what, Biden's the winner. What I never expected, and this was a real surprise to me, is that it was going to be Fox News that wants to do this. That was a real surprise.
Because Fox News now belongs to Disney, and Disney is more left-leaning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, exactly. It's a wonderful plan when you put it like that. It's evil and it's it's demonic, but it is a very smart thing, And now we are basically at this point. I don't think we're walking on thin ice anymore. I think this shit is lost personally. I don't know. Maybe the lawyers will come back with something else, but I think that the damage is already done because if Fox News, if they give Nevada to him, and that's all he needs, by the way. If they give Nevada to him and they proclaim him or they say that he's the projected winner, and then the lawyers come back and say, or the judges rule otherwise, or they demand a recount, people are going to lose their minds. They're not going to know what to trust anymore. They're not going to know who to trust. And I believe that's when the coup really starts.
Yeah, well, John, they're pushing even harder because between last night and today, they have them winning the other states as well. Georgia, Pennsylvania, there is a complete turnaround. So Nevada doesn't even matter anymore. They have states that have, again, Pennsylvania, there's 20 electoral. So they're going to push them over the top all the way because everyone's saying it was going to be a blue wave, and they're upset it wasn't. Well, now in the end, they're going to do it.
Exactly. And I know that many people have been complaining about basically just the Republican, but I always knew this, it's the deafening silence from the Republican leadership is just another proof that this man was alone the whole time against the entire establishment. You gotta understand this, right? These people, both Republicans and Democrats, the politicians and the leadership, these people become extremely rich while they're in office, Yep. Not only are they able to, even the socialists, you look at Bernie Sanders, he's like 2 mansions or something like that, or 3.
And he's never worked a day in his life, by the way. Bernie.
Exactly. I mean, these people charge hundreds of thousands of dollars for speech, for standing up and fucking talking. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. These people become extremely rich and powerful while in office. Trump is a threat to that lifestyle. He is an existential threat to their literal livelihoods. Mm-hmm. So there is no wonder that they came in full force. I mean, you look at people like Don Lemon, right? This motherfucker makes more than $1 million a year in CNN. The mere fact of Donald Trump calling them fake news and making their ratings go down is an existential threat to them.
Right.
This is why they have come up and attacked him the way they have. Mm-hmm. there is no other explanation for that. Now, let's take a look at the following video here. This is hilarious. Let me get your takes after, but let's watch. So just to give everyone context as to what you saw, this man that goes by the name of, let me see real quick. I forgot his name, Fleccas, Essential Fleccas, right? So he is basically showing us here. He's going into the state of Minnesota, actually, the government of Minnesota, the webpage, and he's checking for this person, right, by the name of June Aiken, who was born in the 1900, like in 1900, right, 1900. He shows up as having voted, and his ballot was received in 2020. Now, tell me, I could be wrong about this, but do you guys really believe that 120-year-old man just voted in this election?
Of course.
Yeah, man, of course. It's democracy.
Yeah.
People
I
is
bet Joe
patriot.
Biden believes that.
It's like Donald Trump outperformed in this election with African Americans, particular African American men, Hispanic men, which by the way I'm very proud of. Even women, he underperformed with white men. I don't know what the fuck happened there, but I think Joe Biden overperformed. He performed really well with Ghost. That was like his entire base at this point.
Holy shit, that was great.
There is so much evidence of dead people fucking voting in this election. It's enraging.
If the lawyers can prove that, I hope they does. It will be a meltdown by the left, man, and it will be great, I guess.
Exactly. Look, the application was received on September 11, 2020. Couldn't make this shit up. And the ballot was received on October the 8th in 2020. So somebody voted for this man, right? Now, okay, yeah, you can say, fine, okay, this man was 120 years old and he voted. There's
John,
yeah.
John, you know what they say? They said this was the most important election of all time. So they rose the dead in order to vote. This is so important. The guy came back from the dead and went, "Yeah, you're right. Let me cast my ballot, and then I'm going to go back to sleep."
Yeah, I guess they took it to heart. I mean, we have William Bradley here, born on March 4th, 1902, and he passed away, unfortunately, on June 1st, 1984. But of course, as you would imagine,
He voted a couple days ago.
Yeah, exactly. He voted. So that's fantastic, man. This is wow. Everybody definitely came out of the woodworks, quite literally, to help this guy win, to push him off.
That's amazing.
Push him through the deadline. All right, so we have Daniel Young here, and these law releases. Nevada saying it's so close that they're going to release it on Thursday. Soon after Richard Grenell came about, voter issues in Nevada. Boom, data update. So the thing I think what's happening in Nevada is very simple. It's worth 6 points, so at this point it's basically fucking worthless. But should the other states fail to cheat us, they have it there as a kind of insurance policy. So they're just making sure that Biden wins comfortably. If he happens to just need Nevada, they will of course give it to him.
Of course.
So that's all really that's all they're really waiting for.
Yeah, there's a lot of money that was dropped into this thanks to Bloomberg. Bloomberg put close to $2 billion into this whole fiasco so that they could pay off all these media outlets. They could pay off all the Democrats they need to. This thing was dirty from top to bottom.
Exactly. Yeah. Let's watch the following video. This man explains exactly what he did. Now, keep in mind, this man is confessing of a crime.
But you know what's crazy? I can attest to this right now. And anybody wants to argue this fact, I'm ready, because I just fucking voted twice. I just voted fucking twice. So if I just voted twice, how many times do you think anybody else can vote? who's, sitting here all day or whatever. I mean, I can't say who and what and where, but I just voted twice. So let me let John Nungerton know he got my vote twice. But that's the problem here. There's a problem with the city elections here. The city election board calling out Al Schmidt, city commissioner's office. I just voted twice. Fraud alert. Voter fraud going on in Philadelphia. First of all, I wasn't even registered there. And I voted twice. Voter fraud in Philadelphia shared the shit out of this. Voter fraud. And I don't care whose side you're on, Republican or Democrat. This is a lot more important than what candidate you're voting for. Because I don't think any election is fair in this city. Especially since I just voted twice and wasn't even registered. This is why you have to really, really, really do your homework and your research.
All right. What do you guys think about this? I mean,
Wow.
what are we living in some kind of like fucking alternate universe? Like, did we wake up in some other fucking place?
Yeah, we did. Holy crap. I'll tell you, man. Well, maybe that's why he had the loophole. He wasn't registered. So that's why he was able to go twice.
It's crazy, but I mean, it's like there is so much that they were doing. They like, this was overkill. Like, I can understand cheating, all right? I can understand cheating, I can understand cheating a little bit, but going overtly, like going so crazy with the cheating and expect not to get caught at this point, I can't believe that they're not expecting to get caught. I just don't think they care. You know what I mean?
No, they don't. They don't care because they know most of the people, they've already conditioned them for the past 4 years. They said he's an enemy. He's the worst. He's a disgrace. Blah, blah, blah. They made fun of him. They put his face on toilet paper so you can wipe your ass with his face. Do you know how disrespectful they've been to him? So they conditioned everybody. So when they go, oh yeah, they cheated to get Biden in, everyone's gonna go, yeah, why not?
I was talking to my father earlier today, and he was, he has a retirement here and a retirement account and everything. He's like, I am leaving. And he's serious about this. Him and my mother are going to leave the country because they're like, I'm just going to leave this mess to you guys. You guys figure it out. I am not going to risk it. The dollar is going to be worthless by the time these people are done just basically fucking up our economy. Yeah. And I'm going to take every asset I can, sell it, and get the fuck out, Mm-hmm. And then he finished off with, I thank Donald Trump for what he's done. I really respect him, but I cannot blame him if he just wants to quit. And I have the same feeling. Like, if I was him, I would have already dropped this shit. I would have been like, I am done.
Yeah.
I am done with being disrespected. I am done with being attacked. I am done with basically being the public enemy number one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know how he's continuing to do it, to be honest. I really don't, because it's been nonstop. He saved the middle of the United States, Because if you remember, before all that crap when Obama was in office, they had shut down giant towns, places, because you couldn't get work anymore. They wanted to stop everything from happening. He brought all those jobs back. He helped so much. But again, now it's going to revert. They are going to fuck America so hard. That's why you're going to start seeing these riots in the street and everything. It's going to get way worse.
Exactly. Well, I mean, you saw the last man voting twice. Now, how about 7 fucking times? Wouldn't that be something?
Wow. California.
I'm shocked.
Yeah.
There you go. So the dead are voting. Blessed be the Lord. People are getting up to 7 ballots, voting twice in places where they're not even registered. And there is no fucking fraud. Are you fucking shitting me? What's up, Mass Mogwai? How are you, man?
That's right. We're ready.
You ready to give him hell or what?
That's right. Every day.
I mean, I was just showing some evidence of the rampant fucking cheating and the fraud that we're having to put up with. Now, I want to talk to you because you're a veteran, right? You're a veteran. You know your shit, right? Where do we go from here? Did we just lose everything? Is there something that you think that we can do? Do we just start our own country somewhere in Florida? What do we do?
Now, that's a very good question, dude. I honestly think that right now, if Biden is declared the victor, there's going to be some changes. Luckily, if we keep the Senate and the flips in the houses and everything else, but I think there's going to be a major shift. I think the Republican Party is done. I think that you're going to see the rise of a third party, more like the Tea Party with a little bit more teeth.
Yeah.
The thing in the background is probably going to go ahead and disappear in a boating accident, because I honestly think that those are going to be taken away soon. You know, but this is absolutely crazy, and I think it's time to stop sitting idly and take care of things.
I believe so too, man. I believe so too. I think, look, the response from the left when they don't get their way is basically they burn shit down, right? They destroy shit, they attack people, they loot, they destroy, they rob. But every time we lose, right? Every time we get stomped over, every time we get run over, we just take it. And then you have Republican leadership going out and say, we'll just do the honorable thing, Donald, and just take the L and go home and have dignity. It's like we are not just getting cheated, they are literally destroying the entire system that made this country possible. Mm-hmm. They're walking over it, they're laughing at it, they're bragging about it on social media in many ways. Then you have AOC coming out and say that she's going to punish us once all this is done, basically claiming victory being cool.
Exactly, John. And then they have this bullshit of the Truth and Reconciliation committees. I mean, it's just going to be a witch hunt all over the place. I mean, where are you going to go? I mean, luckily for me, at least I live and work in an area where at least, I know we're not going to get persecuted that much.
Yeah.
But, what about these people that live in those other areas? It's just going to be insane.
Think about the Republicans who live in California. I mean, if you're a Republican who live in California and you're not running for your life right now, what the fuck are you waiting for?
Yeah, we're going to have the means to move.
They went to Texas. You forgot?
Yeah, they try to turn it blue.
Yeah, I want to say hello to Canales. Thank you for joining us tonight.
What's up, Canales?
Hey, brother.
Dead cats received mail-in ballots. Yeah, I mean, at least if they'd been live cats, I think they would have been more subtle. They didn't even see my ID at a polling station shaking my head. That's an anecdotal evidence there from IDZ 135. And then, of course, Canales finishes with, I love how Orwellian they are, truth and reconciliation. Exactly. No, they will brand this extremely. I'll find a video later on tonight. But do you guys remember when Hillary Clinton, back when she was running in 2015 or so, when she said, we have to bring back fun. How about we make some fun camps, for adults so that they can learn to work together. They're going to brand shit with, they're going to put a pink ribbon on shit and sell it to you, and it's going to sound wonderful and beautiful. Democrats are really good at that. But what they're really telling us is that they have absolutely no problem with re-education camps for people like you and me who think for ourselves. That is scary.
I mean, the gulag, is coming back.
Exactly. All right. I mean, so much to uncover. Let's watch this real quick. Let me get your thoughts on this.
They need a drone.
They have binoculars on.
Yeah,
they
won't actually let them go and watch over the shoulders of the ballot counters. Mm-hmm. They're set up in a position in the distance that you have to use binoculars.
Yep.
That's wow. That's pretty fucked up.
It's incredible how we have gotten to this point where the poll watchers are having to use binoculars to see what the counters are doing, because this is gonna make you laugh, right? I was listening to Glenn Beck last night on my way back from work, and he told this was news, right? That the Pennsylvania the Pennsylvania court was allowing poll watchers from, Republican poll watchers to be within 6 feet of the people, counting the ballots. Of course, they're claiming the whole COVID-19 bullshit to excuse this behavior. And so what they did when they passed this is just that the poll watchers just moved the tables further away. You know what I mean? You couldn't make this shit up, man. You could not make this shit up. It's like like analysis. I mean, it's fucking Orwellian at this point. It's almost as if we were living in some kind of parody reality,
And also another problem that you face with these loonies is that they can destroy and riot and do whatever they want. But if you do it, they say you're the devil, the worst thing in the universe.
If you defend yourself, you're the devil.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous because most people aren't starting anything. They're finishing it. They're defending themselves. They're just trying to save others. Like that kid with the assault rifle. That's why, he was going to court, and there were big lawyers who wanted to do pro bono because they know what he did was right. He was helping people, and they attacked them. And he said, "Get away from me! Get away!" He kept warning them, and then they wouldn't stop. They started hitting him, and that's when it happened.
That's why the legal team that he got was the same legal team that sued the kids that got called racist in Washington for allegedly laughing at the and smirking at the Native American dude.
Right.
Yeah.
That they were all up in his face and attacking him.
Mm-hmm.
The kid didn't do anything. All he did was keep his nervous smile on. That's all he did.
Yeah. Hey John, this video here. Now this is screwy right here.
Let me play with some because I think I messed up. But let's listen to Michigan County Clerk telling us about certain glitches when it comes to of course counting votes.
If all this wasn't enough, in Antrim County, ballots were counted for Democrats that were meant for Republicans, causing a 6,000 vote swing against our candidate. The county clerk came forward and said tabulating software glitched and caused a miscalculation of the votes. Since then, we have now discovered that 47 counties use this same software in the same capacity. Antrim County had to hand count all of the ballots, and these counties that use this software need to closely examine their results for similar discrepancies. The people of Michigan deserve a transparent and open process. If all this was...
Let me share your screen right now.
Yeah, I mean, they're emboldened right now, and look at the shit these people are tweeting right now. This is just major disaster.
Yeah,
I mean, what we have coming our way, it's just totally insane.
It's fascism and it's communism without a doubt, and it's at this point I don't know if look. People always say that, and they joke, and they joke around and say, it's impossible for them to come for your guns. They will never try that. And you think about the most outlandish things, but they don't realize how outlandish and how fucking crazy their agenda is. Look, I am no conservative. I've never been. If anything, I consider myself a libertarian. And in fact, I'm an independent. I'm an independent. I'm registered as independent.
Same here.
But a vote for Republicans right now is basically a vote for survival.
Yes.
Because what the left is pushing, it's unsustainable. They have this utopia in mind, which they really don't. They want to enrich themselves and make everyone else poor. But they sell this utopia to us in which everything is going to be free. Everybody will have free healthcare, free education. Of course, ignoring the fact that not only are we trillions of dollars in debt already, which make the dollar worth less, but that we have a growing bubble, from school debt that people don't pay, that's about to burst in any moment, and they wanna forgive all those loans. Same thing with medical bills. People don't realize what this is going to do. We might enjoy the fruits of this wonderful utopia, but your children and your grandchildren will be stuck paying for this shit forever. We're talking about trillions of dollars.
Yes, you're absolutely correct.
It's not worth it. We have Chaotic Neutral here saying, Comics Woodrow, Hell Guy, 6,000 votes in Michigan glitch. Canales says, take it from me. The same guys who rule my country get a hold of yours. They'll kill it. That's what they're doing to mine right now. Yeah, I mean, the situation in Europe at this point is pretty much, it resembles a lot of what we're seeing right now. Daniel Young says, but Nebraska, 9.04% comparatively. Other places have usually 0.x% to 1. If extreme, maybe 2 point. But I saw friends say Nebraska was supposed to go blue according to the red mirage or the blue tinge. No, look, the red mirage it's a fucking lie that was pushed to condition people into accepting the results that we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
That is really that's the bottom line of that. And they're using this red mirage shit to convince people that, oh, we told you that they were gonna say it was fraud, even though it's not. Oh, bullshit. So we have so far. What do we have so far, Vinny? Can we do a tally count here? We have the dead voting, right?
Mhm.
People voting twice without a registration.
People voting 7 times.
People getting 7 ballots to vote. Poll watchers not being able to watch the count. What else could they be doing to cheat? Oh, and then glitches, of course, in the machine. That's putting votes that were Republican to the Democratic Party. How about if the poll counters are filling out ballots for people? Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. Oh wait, that is happening.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think
Wow.
what will be actually really amazing is that if Trump and his team are able to really fact check this fraud and do it in the court or whatever to make it believable for everyone, whatever, people will lose their fucking minds, and that will be great to happen. Because right now I'm seeing people from the right being more tolerant in like accepting if the right lost than the left was when the left lost with Hillary. And actually, I was talking about with my cousins from San Diego that they said that Trump should accept the loss, and I said, well, the left when Trump beat Hillary, Hillary and the left were bitching and crying and even created that impeachment farce. So if Trump loses, he and his supporters have the right to bitch and cry and do whatever they want. We're talking about equality. We're talking about the democracy, right? So they have the right to do the same thing.
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could, but at this point, bro, we are so fucked up that I'm just all down for just creating our own country. I'm telling you, let's just grab Florida, right? Just Florida, just fucking Florida, and make it our own country. We move there, and we start over.
Well, actually, this is unpopular opinion, but I mean, the Confederacy back during the Civil War era were right about a few things.
Right.
And the whole thing to secede.
Look, people to this day still think that the Civil War was about slavery. Let me break it to you. It was not about fucking slavery.
Nope.
It was about succession, all right? It was about the country splitting up because this country was never, this country's overdue a peaceful divorce. That's what I think,
Yeah.
I think the divide is so great and so, you cannot conciliate the two sides anymore, especially when one of the sides is doing this.
Correct.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
right now,
agree.
if you take like your California, Louisiana, Alabama, parts of Mississippi and Florida, and maybe perhaps the southern regions of Florida, maybe through a few other things here and there, that will make itself a powerful nation right there, with some continental adjacency to it. The problem is that like we had over the last couple of months with all this with Corona-chan stuff going on.
Yeah.
A lot of transplants that were fleeing their shitty states with their shitty policies, ending up in states like Florida, Arizona, Texas, and whatnot, running away from that stuff. But them assholes brought their politics with them,
Yeah.
But you want to hear even the more fucked up part about them is that in this day and age, they don't even have to bring their policies with them. They can just export them. Let me tell you about Proposition 2A going on in Arizona, which, by the way, got approved. It's straight up socialism. It's going to be a tax increase for anybody who makes over $225,000 a year, or anybody or a married couple who makes $500,000, right? This is going to the education of the state. This bill was proposed in Oregon. I don't understand how the fuck you make it here. These people this bill was started in Oregon, and somehow it made it to the ballot here in Arizona.
Oh wow.
And of course, they're selling it as something as, you know, it's for education. It's for education. You know what I say to this, man? And I hate to be callous, but it just reminds me of that meme where Michael Jordan say "fuck them kids," because that's what I want. That's exactly what I wanted to say when I read that. You know what I mean?
Well, it was like the last election here in Florida. My county decided to have the grand old idea to raise the taxes by almost 2%, because the sales tax by 2%, so the schools can get better air conditioning.
Yeah.
So right now, the county that I live in has about a higher tax rate than Miami.
Crazy. And not only that, is what people don't understand, that when it's all said and done, the teachers are not gonna get that money.
No.
You know, it's politicians lining up their pockets to get a piece of this. This is the reason why they're doing these tax increases. It's all it is. It's them wanting to get paid.
Of course.
All right, now, Vinny, if you will, because I know you're the counter here. I know you've been keeping count. What ways have they been cheating on throughout this election? Tell me.
I've been drawing. Dead people voting, multiple votes for a single person. We've got ballot checkers that are filling out the ballots as well.
Mm-hmm.
What was that lady saying? The other video.
The glitch on the machine.
Glitch,
right?
The glitch. That's right. What else? What else are we missing? I know. Did we hit the mailman yet?
I know what you're missing. You're missing the counters, throwing them the fuck away.
One. Exactly.
You know, just in case you missed it. Check this motherfucker out.
I wonder what's going on here.
He's very animated with his rage.
And then
Well, he flips it off. Look,
flips off a ballot
he flips it off,
and then crumples it up.
and then guess what? He makes it. Look, he throws it away.
That's not voter fraud. I don't know what is.
Did you guys hear the video at all? Did I share with audio?
Yep.
So, I mean, can't talk about fraud, man. I'm joined by another great guest right now, Red Gaze, who joined us a little bit late. What's up, brother? How are you?
What's up? I'm doing okay.
Are you drunk or what are you, man?
I'm not drunk. What happened was I went out for some steak after work, and I came home and I just crashed. You know why I went out for steak?
Because you're an American who loves freedom.
You're fucking right. I didn't go for some pussy agenda. I didn't go because their farts are destroying the environment. I don't give a fuck about that. I went for steak because I wanted some fucking steak.
Medium rare.
Are you coming out as a fucking racist right now, brother?
What, a cow fart racist? What are you talking about?
Oh man.
Sadly, you can be well. Actually, you can be racist while against white liberals, so it's all good.
Yeah, those are the only people I approve you are racist towards.
Yeah. Well, right now on Twitter the other day, I was labeled not only a racist but a white supremacist, and I'm like, well, how can that be? Because I'm Latino. Oh no, there's no a new label for you.
Let me stop you right there. You are a
white
Latin,
Hispanic.
Let me stop you right there, because in reality you're a Latinx. You're just in denial.
Oh, possibly a white Hispanic.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm getting to. So now my official label is I'm a white Hispanic.
It's very petty, and I don't really give a shit about this, but I sometimes I have gotten into arguments with people that say, well, but there are people from Latin America who are white. It's like, yeah, no shit, but that's not what they mean when they say white. You know, white people in America, they mean Anglo-Saxon. It's fucking obvious. You know, Latino means anybody who speaks Spanish, basically. But, I digress. Anyways, Rex Warden here says these people need some cultural enrichment Nigeria style. Oh, man. Yeah. Red, what are your thoughts on this election? Are you upset? Are you happy? What is your reaction? What is your current mood? Tell me.
Well, I'll tell you what. I've only had one or two good mornings this week, and the only reason I've had those one or two good mornings is because I made a conscious choice not to pay attention to this shit.
Right.
This is the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen. It
I
just gets
try not
worse
to.
and worse all the time. These people just keep stepping over that line, and once they're over the line, that's not good enough. No, we got to keep going and going and going until they actually like push their way into the bathroom while you're trying to take a shit, and we just want to take a shit in peace. Can we just take a shit in peace?
You're right.
No, of course not.
So, no.
Well, I mean, just a reminder here that, you know, there's people bragging who were poll workers, saying the following: bad things are happening in Philadelphia. As a poll worker, I swear under oath to throw away all Trump ballots when I'm counting them. This is, of course, the person who posted it. You know, she's the kind of person that doesn't need to really express her political opinions. They're kind of drawn on her face somehow. You know what I mean?
I think she has Karen written on her forehead.
Yep, that's a Karen right there all day long. Let me talk to your manager. Well, I'm the manager, bitch. Now what?
That's exactly it. I mean, you know, it's like we're not just fighting, you know, as a dark establishment that's power hungry and money hungry, and that basically just want to take over this country and turn it into Venezuela, but we're fighting an army of undead, brainless minions.
Mm-hmm.
That's truly the problem. We've been fighting, you know, that dark government, you know, that shadow government shit for forever. Yeah. It's now they've captured the will of all of these people. That's what makes it truly dangerous. That's why we are where we are.
Like I told you, they did it through media. They did it through social media. They did it through all that. That's why big tech, they're making a lot of money off this shit. That's why they got them in there. This is all fucking planned. And they've been, like I said, grooming America for it.
Yeah,
that's a great word for it. Yeah, exactly.
The whole grooming has been going on since probably the late 90s and 2000s, and maybe before that with the education system in public schools here in America.
Right. But now it's even easier because our technology is so rampant, and they just needed someone to hate. He's the perfect guy to hate.
Correct.
Yeah, it's a combination of that, but you know, at the same time, it's these people are just so fucking sneaky, and of course they're picking. But you know, it was, I believe it was Stalin, the person who said that you have to grab them young, right? You have to start them young. You have to start the indoctrination process when they're kids, basically, because they're more malleable, right? They're more easily manipulated.
Well, I forgot who said this. It was either in the Soviet Union or in China. That said, give me a child before he turns 5, and I will give you the perfect communist.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, and there's a lot of communists that took that line the wrong way too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man, but you guys are ruthless today.
I just woke up. I'm cranky.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
But you had steak.
I didn't hear anything wrong with that statement, by the way.
No, nothing. Okay, maybe I'm just honest. Not cranky so much, just honest.
Brutally honest.
And that's what I want to hear. I want to hear everybody's take on it, because, you know, up to this point, I still feel like this is not going to end normally. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that we can go back to business as usual anymore. Is that a sentiment that's shared with you guys? Do you think that we're just going to have to adapt and survive and just, you know, I mean, life will be sucker, I guess, but keep on moving? Or do you think that people are going to take a stand and maybe just make matters worse? What are your thoughts? You know,
I think it's going to get worse.
You think so?
Yeah, you're gonna have people. They're gonna be combating this shit, but on top of it too, since it depends how long this is gonna be dragged out, and it's gonna depend how violent it does get in the streets and around the country. Because you know, if this gets to that point, it's gonna be like who said it? Passion for Drawing said it as well. Is that they will shut down? Like they'll have the truck drivers will get together, and they're not gonna deliver to Democratic states. It's gonna be stuff like that. They're gonna hurt economies all across the board, because guess what? Their jobs are in jeopardy. Their livelihoods in jeopardy. So this is the best way of getting back at them. That's what's going to end up happening. It's going to be, you know, civil unrest for a very long time until shit gets fucking reworked. And this is what they want. I'll be honest, because even if it's not the socialism, they just want shit to fall apart, because they don't care as long as their pockets are lined. They're in mansions. We're the ones who are fighting it out. They don't give a shit.
And it might just give them an opportunity to rebuild the way they envision it. But, you know, I'm with you on that. I think that things are going to get much worse, and I just don't think that we're going to get back to business as usual. Red, you are probably the most American person I know. Do you think that this is the end? Is this the end of America as we know it?
Well, I think the end of America as we knew it happened some time ago. It's at some point we passed a milestone where there's just kind of no going back.
Yeah.
And you ask if it gets worse. I think it has to get worse. Like, I don't think there's any choice, because these people have gotten so bold and so blatant. They're doing this shit right in front of our face and just saying, what? What are you going to do? What are you going to do, pussy? You know, that's where we're at.
Well, literally,
it has to get worse. There's no other choice.
Yeah, I mean, just when you say that they're doing it on our face, I mean, take a look at this guy. You know, he has a hidden pen, which, by the way, shouldn't be allowed in for people who are counting ballots, and you know, he just goes ahead and changes it. You know, it's exactly that. You know, it's not only that annoying kid who, you know, who's a bully, but he also brags about the fact that he's basically just walking over you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they know big daddy media is going to cover for them. They're going to find a way to twist this and turn this and make a lot of people believe that they're not doing anything wrong. Oh, they were just filling it in. It wasn't dark enough. The machine wasn't reading it. So these guys are heroes. They're just filling in, you know, the dots as the voter intended. Yep. Nothing to see here. Move along.
Exactly.
Wait, Red. How did they bring back the dead? I want to know that one too.
Well, the dead have long been sought after voters, and you know, once not only are we coming up with a vaccine for coronavirus, but you know, we're finding ways to return the dead to life so they can vote. The dead that's a huge voter block that the Democrats have been using for years, and they've just really found a way to put new life into them this time.
Listen, if you are going to be dying anytime soon, don't you worry. In the next election cycle, you'll come back and vote. At least for a day. At least for a day.
Well, wait, no, you'll come back and vote Democrat. That's
of course.
To add on that, they've been trying since 2012 to clean the voter registrars to match them against the dead population in each state. And the Democrats have actually filed injunctions in court against that procedure in like 7 or 8 different states.
Right.
Well, it sounds like to me, it sounds like what you're saying is racist, Mogwai. I don't know why you would level that kind of a charge. They're just trying to help the dead. You got to remember, some of those dead are people of color. Don't be a racist.
That's right.
Don't be a white Hispanic man.
Everybody's white after they die. They turn into bones, but that's okay.
That is true.
Exactly.
That is true. That is a great point.
That's what a white Hispanic would say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nazi.
It sounds like that. Hey, let me ask Kaimega, because you know, why do you think socialism fails? What is the downfall? Why doesn't it ever work every single time it's been tried?
Economy.
Yeah, I'm economy. Okay. Mogwai, why do you think socialism fails?
It's an illusion. Human beings as a whole, communism and socialism, in terms of commune and working as a community, it works in very small numbers. So if you have like a small village or a small group of people, say like 50 and whatnot, and you pull all your resources together and everybody shares everything, that works. But when we're looking at the macro and we're talking about hundreds of millions of people in one place under one political system, that's just, it doesn't work.
Exactly. Red, why do you think socialism fails every single time it's been tried?
Well, because I mean, there really isn't a simple answer. I mean, I think Mogwai put it as simply as it could be put. You know, it's an illusion. They come up with these fantastic, wild ideas that rely on these endless sums of cash that every rich person can just give up every cent they have. You know, it's okay if they pay 50, 60, 70, 80, 90% in taxes, as long as, you know, they're still rich, they're still millionaires. The money's going to run out. If it doesn't run out, these people are just going to move. They can just pick up and go wherever the hell they want. Mm-hmm. They can find a way to get around.
Exactly. I think
it's people like us who will suffer.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think you're hitting it right in the nail. Mm-hmm.
No, what I'm going to say is also the illusion of taxing the rich. These are people that don't understand economics and don't understand how wealth works. Because your net worth is at $2 billion doesn't mean that you have $2 billion cash available to you. That means that all your assets combined are deemed at that cost. But here's the thing: you're not making $2 billion every year. So you're texting me on, say, for example, I own a painting and that painting's worth $1 million. Okay, so if I go sell the painting, or the painting is seized, and it doesn't sell for $1 million, then you can't tax me on the value of that asset, because we don't know what it's worth till we liquidate it. So it's just, again, it's an illusion.
Oh, of course. My suggestion: you hide that painting. Don't let anyone know you have that painting.
No, that's right.
I personally think that socialism doesn't work because it doesn't take into account human nature. It goes against human nature itself. We want to have nice things. We want to, especially men, we want to compete. We want to be the best we can be. We want to outdo ourselves. We want to be better than the other guy. We want to be top dog. We want to get the best women. We want to have the best resources. That's something that is in our DNA. Communism is this utopic, kind of childish idea that we can all just share and nobody has to work for anything. Especially the Marxist approach to it is everything that has to be invented has already been invented. All the wealth has already been created, which, by the way, stagnates our progress. It's very funny how they call themselves progressives, when in reality what they do is actually take us back.
They're regressive. That's why they call them the regressive left.
Exactly. Even technologically too. So
socialism is for losers, for weak-minded people that doesn't want to thrive in life, that are too scared to fail, or if they fail, they think, or people that feel themselves as victims, people that think life is easy, people that don't want to work hard, man. I mean, I met people that have gone through rape or shit like that, people that have gone through very stressful situations, that they don't find themselves to be victims. That's the problem right now in the West. A lot of left-minded people, socialist people, Marxist idiots, they feel they're the victims. They feel they're fighting for a greater good, but they just people that want to have sex, have some drugs, and just enjoy the fucking stupid revolution, no?
100%. I think you nailed it there. This is the revolution of the losers at the end of the day, and all communist revolutions are. It's the people that wouldn't make it otherwise. In a free market, they have nothing to offer, so they have to depend on the government. And of course, like you say, they have this entitlement mentality. Especially, and this is we have the perfect conditions here, the perfect storm. Because you have these snobbish, entitled brats from the West, particularly. Growing up being given everything. Never having to really actually, struggle in life to get stuff. And then along comes this ideology that not only tells them that they are, in one way or another oppressed, and if they're not, then they're going to try to be. If say you're
find a way.
Right, exactly. If you're a white man, then you're like, fuck, I'm the top of the food chain here, or really the bottom. If you look at the, their pyramid in a way. How can I get pity points, to go up in the social scale that we have set up? And so they turn gay, or they say that they're queer, or they can come up with this other bullshit, or they say that they're a different pronoun. Now they become a protected class. Now you have to feel bad for them.
Some of them are even black now, John.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
You know what I mean? So that's what they do, because there is a hierarchy. There's always a hierarchy, and so a lot of these. That's why you see a lot of these beta white guys being a part of Antifa. Not only have they been guilty into thinking that they're just the worst of the worst in the planet, but then they look, they stop and think, fuck. I'm the bottom of the barrel here. I am supposed to be basically the devil. How can I make myself more oppressed to belong to this group, right? And so that's why they come up with this ridiculous shit, like like they are queer or gender bender or whatever the fuck, I don't fucking know. But you get my point.
It's spoken like a true white Hispanic. Bravo.
All right, let's take a look at more evidence here because I just have so much of it, man. I could do this all fucking day. Let's take a look at what's been going on, and let's take a listen as well. I'll get your thoughts after.
Wait, John. You
What's
said
up?
you could do it all day. They're doing it all day.
Right. Yeah. That's why I can do it all day because there's just so much evidence out there of what's going on.
Is that the Navy ballots?
Yes, those are Navy ballots. So again, they're counting them wrong. The machines glitch, so they give it to the other person. The counters are writing on them and marking them. They're being thrown away. What else?
Yeah, the dead, the glitches. And it's funny because the media, again, owned by big tech, there is zero signs of fraud. Zero signs.
Right.
There is none. There's not a drop of evidence. The shit that we've been looking at, that's all make-believe.
Yeah, I mean,
All
exactly.
right, wait a minute. Who is typing like Bugs Bunny?
Yeah. Somebody just pecking away at their keyboard like.
Yeah, somebody is typing a lot. So if you can please mute yourself while you're typing, that would be highly appreciated. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, guys, look. I don't know. I know it's not me. I mean, fuck. Is it the dead? Is the dead? Did they come back to fucking haunt us because we're making fun of them?
It's that hand that came back from the dead and it's filling out a ballot right now. That icon.
It's on Twitter right now, just shit posting.
John, you can mute it.
Yeah, but I don't know where it's coming from. Fuck.
Just hit it until it stops.
Let me see. It's not. It's you, Red. What the fuck? Oh.
What are you talking about?
That's who it is.
Nope.
No.
There you go.
Damn.
This is hilarious.
All right.
It's a conspiracy, I tell you.
This is the mole.
This was a deep state sabotage. Man, let's take a look at this next video, man. This is from James O'Keefe from Project Veritas, who, by the way, has uncovered a lot of shit. But actually, let me share with audio real quick. We have, I think this is probably one of the things that is helping the Democrats the most, and it's just the sheer hatred that some people have for Donald Trump and for the Republicans. It's carrying them to basically sacrifice their own freedom because they can go to prison for this. In order to, serve their party, at this point. So let's take a look at what he uncovered here.
Yeah, where can I find a handful of them?
I don't know, man. Hey, I'm almost finished with the boxes today.
All right, brother.
Hey, not a problem, man. I'm gonna see if I can get you some like a little nice little handful.
Oh,
what's your unit number?
you're gonna get a handful?
What's your unit number?
322. You gonna get a handful?
I probably could. I don't know. Maybe if it's in there, I ain't do it.
And you'll put some in there for me.
I might, man.
All right, brother.
See what I can do.
A postal worker in Nevada offered our undercover journalist a handful of ballots that was sent to the wrong address. This is another example of USPS voter fraud.
Project Veritas has posted a story in the last couple of hours that alleges some cases of voter fraud in Michigan. Have a look and make up your own mind.
So 8 p.m. election day, November 3rd, the Court of Appeals ruled ballots have to be received by that time. And what were you told?
To separate them today so they can mark them with yesterday's date.
Some of us got some extra ballots and stuff. How many of those you getting lately? People with extra ballots are undeliverable or whatever.
It's been quite a few.
Quite a few?
People are sending based off their old address. So, yeah, it's been quite a few.
Well, if it wasn't me, though, hypothetically, though, it could be done.
I can't say nothing because I don't know. I'm just a delivery.
All right. But there's a lot of them out there like that, though, right?
Yeah, there are.
Where's the most of them at then? If we were hypothetically, yeah, where can I find a handful of them?
I don't know, man. Hey, I'm almost finished with the boxes today.
All right, brother.
Hey, not a problem, man. I'm gonna see if I can get you some like a little nice little handful.
Oh,
What's the unit number?
you're gonna get a handful?
What's the unit number?
322. You gonna get a handful?
I'll probably put I don't know, maybe. If it's in there, I ain't doing it.
And you'll put some in there for me.
I might, man.
All right,
See
brother.
what I can do.
But of course, with co-conspiracy theories, if we have any doubt that the whole process with the mail-in ballots is going to be a disaster. Now, if you think for a second, all right, that because there might not be COVID-19 in 4 years, then this problem won't happen again, you are in for a surprise. Okay, because let me run you through a little bit of a timeline. All right, there was this beautiful country. It should be one of the richest ones in the world. Right, it has tons of oil. It's called Venezuela. When Chavez got into power, all right, he did it through the promise of basically giving people free shit, and it worked because in that country there was a lot of poor people, and there was a lot of inequality. Right, there were very rich people, there were very poor people. Not a lot of the middle class, but the very rich people were many because there was a lot of money going around. So Chavez sees this as an injustice, as unfair, and he pledges to fix it. He says, he's going to start social programs, and he makes a lot of private companies public. He even takes over the whole oil industry in his country. He makes it part of the state. And as we know, the state is never a good manager at anything. I mean, they fucking suck. Take it from me, who is a fucking state employee. All right. So. You have that. Then, of course, he appoints a successor because he's not going to give up the revolution as they always do, and he passes away. This might very well be the case between Joe and Kamala. I don't think he's going to pass away, but he's definitely going to pass the baton to her. Hypothetically speaking, she can run for 3 terms, right?
I have a theory about that. We'll talk about that in a few.
All right. So. Of course, Chavez gives the power to Maduro. Now, Maduro's a fucking disaster, right? The fool's retarded. He's probably worse than Joe Biden when it comes to putting a sentence together. I will show you guys, but all of you speak English, you wouldn't get it. But let me put it like this, all right? Let me put it like this, right? The motherfucker one time said on live TV that he was going to multiply the communists across Venezuela, just like Jesus multiplied the penises. That's some of the stuff that comes out of his mouth, all right? Fool's fucking retarded, just like
wow.
But
Okay.
After that, never again did Venezuela have fair elections. It was always fraud. I mean, let me put it like this. Maduro was running against a Harvard graduate for the presidency, and Maduro won by a landslide. Okay. Now, granted that in Venezuela they have direct democracy, so every vote counts. It's not like you have the electoral college here, right? So it's a different system. Once he grasped power, he never let go of it, and he made sure of it. And what he did was very sneaky, right? Because there were branches of government, just like here. You have power balances. He had Congress that was basically completely overrun with the opposition, right? You have the opposition basically controlling the Congress. What Maduro did, this is not gonna be probably understandable, is he created a parallel Congress, right? That actually supersedes the original Congress and has more power than it. So basically creating its own Congress and negating the Congress that was already there. Now, the economic disaster that happened in Venezuela is very easy to explain. They set up a minimum wage that was universal, okay? That was very high. Of course, after that, many companies broke or had to sell. But a lot of companies said, you know what? Well, because companies never really pay taxes, what they do is they pass the taxes down to the consumer. They just, raise the prices of their products. They raise the prices of their products to a way that they will be basically unaffordable for the average person. So let me put it into context. If so all of a sudden we had a federal minimum wage of $15, then Walmart would just basically have to raise the prices of everything they sell because they have to take care of their employees, right? Now, what Maduro did next was fucking disastrous. I mean, as if he hasn't already been disastrous the whole time. He actually went and he said, no. You have to sell whatever you sell for whatever I tell you. So he actually started controlling the prices of things. So what did people say? The rich said, you know what, fuck it. Why am I fucking doing here? and they left, and they took their money, and they fucking ran as far as possible. You know what's happening in Venezuela right now? People eat from the trash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because no one is producing food or, anything. No one can afford it. And everybody's a millionaire in Venezuela, They have millions and millions of bolivars, which is the currency there, but it's not worth anything because they keep printing money out of thin air, like we used to back in the Obama era, that is worth less every time.
Didn't also that he created a new currency called the strong Bolivar or the Bolivar Fuerte that was supposed to be a better currency. And also, didn't he establish a UBI? Because I remember I would get customers coming from Venezuela saying, hey, I have a prepaid card, and this prepaid card is given to us when we travel by the government.
Right.
And it actually is in US dollars, and each card has $5,000 in it. And they give this to every citizen.
Basically, this whole thing was a disaster. What socialists have to do once they rise to power is they make so many mistakes that are so fucking unpopular that they have to disarm the population because they're going to have a revolution coming, and two, they're going to have to find ways to basically open another hole to cover up the one they already created. You know what I mean? Am I explaining myself right here? They keep making mistakes in order to fix the mistakes from the past. And that creates a crisis like never seen before.
They're putting a little bandage on top of a giant gaping wound that's just pouring blood out.
I'm going to guess here, but I will say that Venezuela probably has anywhere between 20 million to 10 million people. In just the past few years, something crazy like 15% of them have left on foot.
Wow.
Because nobody anymore owns a car or a house. On foot. They have traveled South America on foot because they are desperate for food.
Yeah.
I have seen them. I have met them. I have been with them. They flooded my country because we're next to them, and you see these droves of poor people just coming and pouring in, just like, fuck, anything is better. Sleeping on the side of the road is better than living over there anymore. And that is what worries me because once they grab power, they never let go of it, and they make mistake after mistake in order to fulfill their stupid dream utopia that will never come to be, And in the meantime, we all pay the price.
Yeah.
Well, see, I mean, what you said is kind of part of it, right? They create these crises to get the people on their side, to make people believe that they need to put their power and their support behind them to solve these crises. But the problem is, once you get that ball rolling, it's a fucking snowball, man.
Right.
Because you just need another crisis and another crisis and another crisis, and you get to the point where most of the talk of the town is now quote unquote conspiracy theory.
Right.
Because that's just what it looks like, you know? And they want to keep calling people crazy, but I'm sorry.
And all these tyrants get very emboldened by the power, because power really transforms people into very ugly beings, So you have so this motherfucker, Maduro says because people are just killing everything they can to eat it. At this point, they're killing dogs and cats. And I'm not trying to be cruel, right? I love Venezuelan people. They're our brothers, they're Colombians brothers, and sisters. But it's not to be cruel, but they did this to themselves.
Well, I have a pair of Venezuelans that work with me, right?
Yeah.
And one of them he's literally been in the U.S. for 2 years. And he goes, and I got to say it in Spanish, and then we'll translate. He goes, oye, chamo, ¿qué vamos a hacer? Aquí se están colando el comunista también. ¿Qué se puede hacer en este país? Digo, lo único que se puede hacer es revolución.
Right.
So translation, he's like, hey, dude, I came over here stateside. I'm making decent money. And now the communists have infiltrated over here too. And so what can be done to stop them? I'm like, it's only one way to stop them, and that would be revolution. And that's pretty much it.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the story about the guy who survived the atomic blast twice in Japan. Like, fuck, you get hit with the first atomic bomb, then you go somewhere else, and then a new one drops on your ass. Yeah. I feel bad for them, especially the ones that came here. Like, fuck, I gotta deal with this shit again. Are you shitting me? You know what I mean? Yeah. Same thing with the Cubans. Why do you think they have such a turnout in Florida? These people are not stupid. They fled exactly what is happening here now. So that's my warning to America. Look, I know that socialism is it sounds nice on paper, especially if you're young and dumb. It sounds it sounds awesome. Fuck, who doesn't want free shit, right? But in practice, is a death sentence to your country and your family, man. So
Right, and there's lots of people who have dealt with this split, who came from these countries, who are shouting it from the rooftops, and just nobody will listen. And the problem I think that a lot of people aren't understanding is, and I've said this many times because it's important, is, if this shit goes down in America, there is nowhere left to go.
Yeah, exactly. There's
nowhere left to go. This shit is worth fighting for.
Oh yeah, and I'll be honest. It's not going to be like what they did in Venezuela, flinging shit at him. They're going to be flinging something else a lot quicker, coming out of explosive firearms. That's what it sounds like. And again, you can't take away the weapons, because you try to do that, you're going to ignite the war even quicker.
Well, that's the debate I was with, I was having with my father earlier today, because, he says, but there is no way that the army will be killing its own people, right? And I said, well, again, you got to look at what's happening in other places in the past. The reason why Venezuela is in such a disaster, such a crisis, right? And you have political prisoners being tortured in prisons, it's because a lot of these people were former criminals, right? So what Chavez did, he created these things called the colectivos, which is basically like the Nazis' brown shirts. And I'm seeing the same thing with Antifa and Black Lives Matter. I think that is the purpose that they're going to serve. They're going to be like a parallel police that's going to be completely political and partisan, and they are just as capable of cruelty and murder as anybody else, but they're going to be sponsored by the state, and that is a big issue. The second thing that the Venezuelan did, which was very, very stupid, was they imported all these Cuban spies from the G12, which is the spy agency in Cuba. They infiltrated the police and the military, and they don't have a problem with killing a Venezuelan. Why would they give a shit?
Right.
They're from the Cuban regime. So I can perfectly see, the Democrats just asking for help to the UN if something like that went down.
Yeah, not only that, John. So also, here's the thing. I spent 17 years active duty. So I saw what happens when there's a big change in administration from conservative to liberal, Republican, Democrat. And the first thing that happens when the new administration comes in, you see the heads roll. So everybody who's in a general, admiral, high-ranking colonel, lieutenant colonel, all your E7s, E9s, E8s that are there, and they're there by merit, and they have a certain standards that they adhere to. Those people are phased out, and they're phased out quick. The cronies that want to go ahead and move up, which is the ass kissers, and they come ahead and they come into power. They start changing policy, and then they start promoting, and recommending for promotion the people that have their same political leanings.
Well,
You'd be surprised how many people at the general and admiral level are actually not pro-military.
Exactly.
They're more like politicians, and they will sell you out in a heartbeat in order to retain power.
You nailed it, man. You nailed it. It's the generals. They're the ones. They're the machine. That makes a lot of money out of these pointless fucking wars overseas.
Yep.
And again, the comparison goes back to Venezuela, because I don't think I know Oliver was saying earlier that this is looking like Mexico. I'm like, no, this is looking worse. This is looking like Venezuela. In Venezuela, this is gonna fucking sound insane, all right? But you have more generals than troop. Why? Because they get promoted easily. They get, they start lining up their pockets. They become rich, and now the politicians can control their military like that. I can see something like that happening here. When we talk about Venezuela, we have seen this movie before. We know how it ends. Don't let it happen, man.
Well,
do whatever you can to stop this.
Another place that people don't really talk a lot about, and that really had a big transformation, and it was radical and it was violent, and people don't know too much about it because, of course, we forget our history, and hence why we commit so many mistakes. But the rise of communism in Cambodia and Pol Pot, that one was brutal. that one made Chavez look like a little kindergarten kid.
Right. Yeah, I mean, look, man. All I hope is that we don't have to deal with this in the future. But in order to do that, we have to take a stand right now, because this is honestly the last chance. I hope Trump pulls it off somehow. I don't know if he will be able to. Honestly, my hopes are not up. I am not optimistic about this at all. I think we already got robbed, and at this point, we're gonna have to go into some kind of emergency mode.
Well, it is a catch-22 right now. So right now, if Biden wins, we're in trouble. And if Trump wins, if you think the last 4 years were harsh, it's going to be an ever bigger shit show.
Yeah.
And this is why I had the screen up. So I have this article here. So last month, there was a lot of grumblings about it, wondering why was Pelosi, trying to go ahead and back this bill to shore up the 25th Amendment. A lot of people were thinking like this had to do with Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. This right here, this bill and the 25th Amendment, they're trying to advance it so they can make it move quicker, so they can use the 25th Amendment to remove Biden from power from the get-go.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
from
I mean,
the get-go. I won't even give it the first 90 days. If Biden is the president, give it within the first 90 days, that man will not be the president, and we'll have somebody else sitting in the White House. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's probably not even going to be Kamala.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that before, but I just don't see Pelosi pulling this off. She's old and she's demented and she's alcoholic, and I don't know. I don't know if she can pull it off. However,
she's out the door too. I don't know if you were reading. I read an article yesterday that some of the Democrats are playing a coup. Pretty much that she will not be the Speaker of the House if they retain majority on the House also.
Yeah.
The squad's taking over.
That is what worries me, man. And here's the other thing that worries me. Abel, I love you to death, brother, but I'm going to mute you again. Here's the other thing that worries me too. You know what I mean? Is that like we have
Does he fill out ballots? What's going on?
I don't know. We're supposed to have an opposition right now. We're supposed to have the Republican opposition, but they're going along with this, which it's not setting a good precedent whatsoever. This is telling me that they're going to roll over and show their belly every single time that these deranged individuals try to pass legislation that is going to kill this country more. So I'm not optimistic. Look, man, even if we get the Senate, to be honest with you, at this point, I think that the damage is done. And something needs to be done to fix. And back to Red Gaze's point, I think that this has been happening for a long time too. I don't want to think of Trump as a band-aid to a gushing wound, but at the same time, if you think about this logically, right? Even if he'd won right now, were we going to be in this exact same scenario in 4 years anyway?
Possibly, but not necessarily. See, there's a reason. There's a reason that the media has been all over Trump and trying everything they can to make people hate them. Beyond just getting him out and getting their man in. It's that I don't know. I've had this discussion with a few people. I don't think Trump is any kind of Jesus Christ type figure, but he doesn't play ball. You know what I mean? He's not part of the club. He does what he thinks. I don't necessarily think he's doing what he does out of a sense of nobility. I think he's doing what he's doing out of a sense of his own legacy. He wants to be remembered fondly and remembered as someone who did something really good. And I mean, that's okay. I don't give a shit what his motivation is. He's doing the right things. And another 4 years, who knows? Who knows? Maybe we will actually see people who deserve to be in prison for once. Yeah. For once.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's all we ask. But at the same time, you look at what the guy has been trying to do. He's done great things, but he's up against the whole world, man.
He is.
And I don't blame him for wanting to step down and fucking quit this shit, because I wouldn't be able to take him myself. I gotta be honest, man. I wouldn't want to be him. I wouldn't want to be him, And it's just crazy, like you guys were pointing out, the disrespect, the amount of shit that he's been having to put up with. But on top of that, being robbed the way he's been robbed right now, being cheated the way he's been cheated, I don't think I would be able to put up with it. Not me, at least. I wanna take a opportunity to say hello to Poland. Come to Bancroft. We have Venezuelan. All right, I will be there in a minute after I wrap this up. Michael Beacon says, if America becomes communist and the military gets subverted all at once, the world is done. A perfect replica for 1984. He also says, you don't have to ensure your economy functions to keep your people under control when the world is under your control. Yeah, I mean, look, this might be a grand plan to, bring over a world, new world government or whatever. It may very well be, but what it's really doing is dividing us and pinning us against each other in a way that only benefits China. Look, if you think about the only thing that was stopping China from invading Taiwan, from invading Hong Kong, from just basically taking over the world was Donald Trump. That was the only thing standing between China and Taiwan and Hong Kong. He's done. And now they have a puppet of theirs in the White House. I mean, most likely we still, it's still disputed, but at this point, it looks like that's the way it's going to be. China's going to take over. So my advice to every single one of you is that you guys start brushing up on your Chinese, your
Ni
Mandarin.
hao, baby, ni hao.
Because I mean, we're fucking we're being taken over. I want to thank every one of you for showing up. What a productive conversation. This was really fun. I really enjoy streaming with you guys. You guys are welcome to Mastodon anytime, every single one of you. But Abel, please don't be typing while we're talking.
Okay, man. Sorry, I thought that that you didn't hear that. Sorry, man.
Oh no, we hear everything here, man. And I just want to leave you guys with a little bit of with a thought I just had very recently. It's like, we have just witnessed all the cheating that Democrats have done to basically strip Donald Trump out of the of the title of president, and still they didn't win in a landslide. There was still no blue wave, even after all the cheating they did. That about tells you how much the American people agrees with them.
Yeah, unprecedented levels.
I will leave you with that.
Yeah, man.
All
like
white racist. Sorry.
Like Thomas Sowell said, socialism is a great idea, but not a great reality.
Right. That's a perfect quote. That's a perfect quote to end it. Thank you very much for showing up, guys. I really appreciate it. And thank you everyone who was on the chat as well. I love you guys. Join us any other time. I will try to do this more often, like I say, but life gets in the way sometimes. Life goes on even after all the craziness that's happening. But like I said, I don't think that our lives are going to be the same again starting pretty soon. So everybody, brace for impact.
That's right.
Thank you for joining me, man. See you later.
Peace.